that very moving introduction and just tell her how pleased we are that things are going so well for you. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure that every Terry Powell in America has the same opportunity. Thank you. I am so excited to be here with your mayor. I am a big fan of Megan Murray. I really am excited to have her support. I asked her for her vote, and she graciously agreed to give it to me. So I'm thrilled to be here with her. I also want to recognize your congressman. Jim Cooper is right over somewhere here. Right, thank you, Jim. Jim Cooper has also been not only a great congressman for all of his constituents, but a real leader in the Congress. And I look forward, if I'm so fortunate enough to be president, to working with Congressman Cooper. Now, I do love the fact that Tony Goldman is here this afternoon, and I so appreciate his help. He's been campaigning for me. He plays a president, so I feel like I can learn a few things. I was in Los Angeles not long ago, and I went over and looked at the set that they filmed Scandal on, and boy, was it realistic. I thought, wow, maybe I should just hang out here. And Kerry Washington just cut some ads for me, so I just feel really fortunate to have this team supporting me. I also want to recognize Dr. Glenda Glover, the president of Tennessee State University. And I want to thank everybody associated with this great institution. Mahari and Selena Holloway, the vice president of the board, and all of the faculty, staff, and particularly the students. You know, this institution has such a well-deserved reputation, not only for educating, training, and sending out into the world excellent physicians and dentists and so many other healthcare professionals, but because of the service they perform right here in this community, helping so many underserved people get access to the healthcare that they need and deserve. I'm also kind of proud that Meharry was started by Methodists. I'm always happy to plug being a Methodist, because we do believe in service. We do believe that faith in action is faith in service. So I thank Meharry for welcoming all of us here this afternoon. You know, my campaign is really about breaking down barriers. Breaking down the barriers that stand in the way of America fulfilling its potential and of every American fulfilling his or her potential. And when you come right down to it, we have a lot of barriers to tear down together. We have economic barriers, barriers that stand in the way of having enough good jobs with rising incomes for everybody willing to work in order to get ahead. I think we should do much more, working between the government and the private sector to create jobs. You know, we need more infrastructure jobs. Our roads, our bridges, our tunnels, our ports, our airports, you name it. We have work to do in America, and it's work that can't be exported. It has to be done right here in Tennessee and across our country. We have work to do that is invisible work. Water pipes, sewer pipes. I want you to just remember what's going on in Flint, Michigan, a city of about 100,000, mostly poor, mostly African American, where the people there, including babies, have been drinking lead-contaminated water for nearly 2 years. Those pipes are old, those pipes are leaking, and those pipes are leaching chemicals like lead into the water you bathe in and the water you drink. And all that happened because the governor of that state wanted to save money. So we have work to do. We have work to really fix what is fundamental to every person. Clean water. Every person in America should have access to clean water. They don't have to worry about it. We also have work to do to bring back manufacturing to America. We have to change the tax code so that you get rewarded for bringing jobs to America, not exporting jobs from America. I'm one of these people, you see, who think we can actually build things again in our country, and I've seen it. I have visited so many places where entrepreneurs and businesses are getting together to create new ways of doing advanced manufacturing. Our community colleges will be a great source of skills in making sure we're ready to do that work. And I also believe the best way to combat climate change is by creating clean, renewable energy jobs that will change the way we produce energy in a country. Now, I gotta tell you, you know that when the Republicans are asked about climate change, they all say pretty much the same thing. Well, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Now, there's a really easy remedy for that. Go talk to a scientist. Right? You know, come here, go to TSU, go to Vanderbilt. There are a lot of places you can find scientists who will explain what climate change is and why it is so dangerous. But what I don't understand about their answer, by the way, I don't think half of them believe that. I really don't. I think they just do what the Koch brothers tell them to do. I'm actually kind of looking forward, if I'm fortunate enough to be the nominee, debating any one of them. A lot of great jobs in clean, renewable energy. And a lot of states are. Not just states with Democratic governors, states with Republican governors. We've got states producing a lot of wind energy. Texas, Iowa, Minnesota. In fact, Iowa now gets a third of its electricity from wind. Right? We've got states putting up big solar arrays, encouraging people to put solar panels on their houses and their businesses. That's all work that has to be done right here. There are lots and lots of jobs, and you know, some country is going to be the clean energy superpower of the 21st century. I think it's either going to be China, Germany, or us, and I intend for it to be us. Let's do more to help small businesses. The mayor and Tony and I stopped at a great coffee shop and met the owner there. Small businesses create about 2/3 of the jobs in America. And we've got to do more to really help boost small business. And I particularly want to boost small business for young people who have a dream, who have an ambition, and to support more minority and women-owned businesses. My dad was a small businessman, and I want to be a small business president. I want us to really get back to creating and growing small businesses. And while we're at it, let's raise the minimum wage. I mean, 35 million people work for the minimum wage. And 2/3 of them are women. A lot of them sole support of themselves and their kids. And right now, you end up in poverty, right? I know we can do better than that. And then let's finally guarantee equal pay for women's work. Disagree with. You know, they don't think equal pay is a problem. They don't want to raise the minimum wage. They're not interested in more infrastructure. They don't want to invest in clean energy. So we're going to have a great debate about this when it comes to the general election. Because I believe that we've got to get back to creating jobs like we were at the end of the 1990s when my husband was president. I mean, it was not only 23 million new jobs, but incomes went up for everybody. And I want young people particularly to remember this. Because it wasn't so long ago when middle-class families, working families, and the poor saw their incomes going up. In fact, during the 90s, the median family income went up 17%. The median African-American family income went up 33%. That's what I call win-win economics, where everybody does well, not just people at the top. And then you know what happened? The Republicans came back with trickle-down economics. I was in the Senate. I saw it happening. Slash taxes on the rich, take your eyes off the financial markets and Wall Street, ignore the mortgage market, and we know what happened, don't we?
Exactly. Yes.
The worst financial crisis since the Great Depression.
Yes.
Now the Republicans want us to forget about it. I will guarantee you, if I'm the nominee, we will talk about it every single day of the campaign. After the 2008 election, President-elect Obama asked me to come see him in Chicago. I didn't know why. It turned out he wanted me to be Secretary of State, but before we got to that, he said to me, "It is so much worse than they told us." We were losing in America 800,000 jobs a month. 9 million Americans lost their jobs. 5 billion homes were lost. $13 trillion in family wealth wiped out. That's what President Obama inherited. And I don't think he gets the credit he deserves for making sure we didn't fall into a Great Depression. Saved the auto industry, imposed the toughest new rules on Wall Street, Dodd-Frank, and passed the Affordable Care Act. That was a pretty remarkable set of accomplishments. And you know what the Republicans say, really all they can say, because they're all saying the same thing, is go back to cutting taxes on the wealthy. Honestly, the budgets that they are putting out, the plans they are pretending to believe would help our country are just extraordinary. It would once again disrupt our economic growth. It would add trillions of dollars to our debt, and it would further stack the deck in favor of those on the top. About the only thing they therefore can say is, this is the slowest recovery in history. Now you have to ask yourself, why did we need to recover? Well, because the Republicans crashed the economy, and that's how we ended up in the first place. Talking about this, we finally have people getting health care coverage under the Affordable Care Act. And I am thrilled by this. Because, you know, when I was working on it, when it was called Hillary Care, people were basically at the mercy of the insurance industry. Jim Cooper remembers that. If you had a pre-existing condition, you were out of luck, right? So I want you just to hear one story about why I'm so passionate about this. I was at the, thank you.